Hi and welcome to our exclusive content. I'm so glad you've connected once again. I want to introduce a thought today around impact zone. If you have been following us for recent weeks, you'll have known that we're finishing off now a series called His Word Empowers Me, looking at how the Word of God empowers us in our identity, how the Word of God, Jesus himself, empowers us in our understanding of intimacy with God as Father. And this week we've just finished with impact. If you missed it on Sunday, you can still connect by visiting our Facebook page, watching it online, or connecting to our website. But impact zone, I'm not sure what you think about that word. If a surfer hears the term impact zone, what comes to mind is that part of the wave at the top where it's about to break. In that area, that is the impact zone. It's where there's a lot of energy, the water's beginning to separate, and that fall, that break is starting to take place. It's where you don't really want to be as a surfer. If you're a car enthusiast, you might have heard of a safety grading that every vehicle, whether you buy or rent or hire a vehicle, every vehicle receives a safety grading, and that safety grading is measured at the place of impact should a collision take place. So what happens is there's a setup for a false accident, and that part where the car collides with the object is called the impact zone. And in that impact zone, energy is sent then around the vehicle so that the passengers on the inside are safer or safe, and the vehicle is given a safety grading depending on how it performs. I want to suggest that actually our lives are impact zones. Do you know, in John chapter 15, Jesus says this phrase. He says, I am the vine and you are the branches. It's a metaphor. It's a metaphor for how we see ourselves being found in him. In that stage, he's talking to his followers. He's talking to his disciples. And for us today, we can connect to that because we know that we can connect to God through Christ himself, and we get the opportunity to embrace and to learn and to understand and to know what it is to be connected to him. He says, I am the vine. He's the vine. He's the trunk. He's the part, he's the stem, the part of the plant that is connected to the roots, to the source through which life and nutrients and water gets the opportunity to be spread to other parts of the plant. And he says that we are the branches. We're the part that receive from him the source, the water, the nutrients and life itself. And sometimes I think we end up living in a way where we measure, perhaps in the wrong way, where we perhaps measure what can I do to impact, where instead Jesus' next phrase in that verse in John chapter 15 is, he who is in me and I who am in him produce much fruit. And that's the part that's so beautiful for me, is that in every moment of life, we have impact. We have opportunity to impact relationships, conversations, the decision making that we make for ourselves or for others or for teams or for family. And the question in my mind is, what does that fruit look like? Knowing that I'm connected to the vine, that I'm connected to Jesus, that I'm a branch from which fruit is produced through him. So I want to ask you a question. I'm not going to ask you the obvious question, which is, how are you impacting? I want to ask you, can you recognize that you have impact in your zone that God has placed you in? If you can answer that question with a yes, I suppose the next question is, so what fruit are you seeing there? It's a bit of a challenging thought for you, and I'd love to encourage you to go away and pray about that. Perhaps talk to someone, talk to a leader, but really think on, what is the impact zone for you? How do you view that? Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel like us on Facebook or follow us on Instagram and Twitter, and fill up that space with your comments, like and share, and look forward to connecting with you at the next episode next week.